Alright, Paldea Evolved reaches $500, so my prediction yesterday was completely off. I said that Paldea was probably going to be a little slow for a while. Pretty much I didn't know when there'd be a big buyout, and I guess it happened yesterday. 31 boxes sold. At the rate it was going, at the number of sellers, like I guess I wasn't looking enough pages down, but it's pretty much a $500 box now. You see, after about these three sellers, it goes pretty much that's about 500 right there. So that's about four boxes until $500. It might stay below 500 a little bit, but definitely a huge rise up about $43, and you're just seeing it pull away, and it's it's like as expensive as a lot of other Sword and Shield boxes. It's more expensive than Silver Tempest, more expensive than Astral Radiance. Like it's almost the same price as Brilliant Stars right now because that's been dropping. Only like not too far away from Chilling Rain, so it's really surpassing everything. If it reaches like Lost Origin and Fusion Strike, you're just like, whoa, what the like. Um, so the gains of Paldea have all been crazy, especially if you're the one of the people who got these at like $80 to $100 a box. Like that's just yeah, like sure there's other things like Poco like 151 PC TVs have done better, but this is like a five times gain over like what like 1 or 2 years or something. Surging Sparks keeps going down, and I don't fully keep up with all the Surging Sparks restocks and stuff. And like just from the data, like it doesn't like honestly, Surging Sparks doesn't always like the data doesn't always make sense to me. Just because I'm not always in the loop of like when the reprints happen or anything. I did hear from like a restocker that or someone who gets the restocks that there was a like one at Best Buy, like they had a bunch of Surging Sparks boxes. I know they had a bunch of Twilight Masquerade boxes back in the day. I know that's part of the reason why it had another drop. But yeah, like as far as the data goes, like the only explanation I really have is that Devastation had a bunch of boxes around 260. Actually, yesterday all the boxes were comfortably around 260. I was like, oh great, finally. But then now a lot of people have listed below it, and one of those is DST Games over here with 18 boxes, which is quite a bit. So quite a bit drop. Like this one over here is a lot lower. Really, it dropped to 250. Nothing too crazy. It's just like this has been the story of Surging Sparks for like the whole year. Literally this whole calendar year. It's been this exact same price, 240 to 260. Like every now and then it'll go down like a dollar, like maybe 239 or like 261, 264. But it's been the whole year. It's like such a difference in all the other patterns. Like every other box had just like gone up steadily. Surging Sparks has been the only exception this whole year, so it's just been a really weird box to track. I guess like Journey Together has also been kind of down and stuff. But Journey Together still had like the pre-release highs and everything and went back down. But Surging Sparks, these are like the highs, the definite highs because it started so low, and so it's just a really big outlier of all the other booster boxes in a sense. And then so yeah, Surging Sparks technically with that box is down about $28. And then Twilight Masquerade, Stellar Crown up about $4 or $5 each. Obsidian Flames down 2. So what do you think is gonna happen? So Obsidian Flames was kind of technically still following the same pattern as Paldea yesterday, where it's still slowing down. If there's a big buy for any of these boxes, of course, like it'll go up or whatever. But only 5 sold yesterday, and it's just around the same range. Like it's gone as high as about 340, and it goes to like 350, and that's kind of the range for right now. Paradox Rift I'm still looking at, so there are no boxes sold yesterday, and if you look at the graph, technically it's leveling out, but I still see like it is still heading toward like 280 to 300 over here, so I'm just watching out for that. SC base, I think it'll just be a little slower. One box sold yesterday, just like not as much momentum. People hesitate to go Scarlet base, although I think that like their Paradox and Scarlet base are tied a lot of the time. So we'll just need more time to see which one will pull out more. But I mean, Paradox technically is better than Scarlet base, so I think it would do better in some of that sense. But I'm not really sure. It could do a Sword and Shield base sort of thing. All right, and then Twilight sold 4 boxes yesterday, and it's around 310 now, up about $5, and it's just trying to still head to 320, but it's been a little slower. A little more confidence, obviously, in the older stuff, as like they're not gonna be reprints as prone. Temporal didn't sell any box yesterday, still technically like a $260 box. Just these two sellers that no one really buys from. Every other box is around 260. And the Stellar Crown sold 3 boxes yesterday, and it's just like still hovering around 250, can get to 253, 255. It's kind of a weird box. Like I really wouldn't be surprised if there's not really a reprint for this or any major reprints and it just stays kind of high. Alright, so I'm going to go over like a more clearer pattern I'm seeing with the numbers of storage shields. So the numbers will make it a lot obvious. Let me just read it out a little bit. So basically, long story short is that all the cheaper boxes are starting to be bought up and the price point really does make a difference. So you're seeing a lot of boxes level out. Like I've been noticing Brilliant Stars has been dropping. It was heading towards $600. It's now at $520. And you see all these boxes over here. These are the ones that are generally the better sets, and except for Lost Origin down here, and like they're the more expensive ones. You see, like they're the ones that like are barely above 500 right now. So Chilling Reign and Brilliant Stars, but these are heading towards 600. So let's just say 550 to $600 boxes. Evolving Skies obviously is the goat. Fusion Strike is over here, and then Lost Origin here, but they're the ones dropping. Evolving Skies technically down 138. Just because like there's a cheaper box listed. You see Brilliant Stars dropping $20, and then Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign down 5. But I have been noticing activity in just the cheaper boxes. Like I've been noticing more Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles activity. Like Battle Styles could really head toward 300, and just because of the price point, just because compared to Scarlet Violet, it's still one of the cheapest boxes. Like people are just price shopping now. And Paldea is like going up so high that these like Scarlet Violet and Sword and Shield are starting to be mixed together in some sense in terms of price point. Like you wouldn't normally see this across eras as much, but it's really happening like very quickly just because of this weird market right now. And then Astral Reign slowly starting to climb. Like it's been very stagnant. But like it's always had potential. Now it's at 420, a new high, and then Silver Tempest is like really cutting close to 500 for a while. But these are the boxes that are being like sought after more often now, just because I think really just the price points. The ones with the most upside potential are Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, and Astral Radiance. Like they're the ones that like it kind of makes the most sense to go up. There wasn't like a big rise or anything. Like it's just like, hey, these things should go up eventually. I guess it's now. And then, I mean, Astral Reigns had a little bit last minute bull run. And this Silver Tempest is also kind of in that realm a little bit. Everything else, like, you see retractions and Chilling Reign, Brilliant Stars, it's pretty normal. So let me just go over some of the data on that. So yeah, Following Skies still having sales. So one did sell yesterday for about $28.50. Someone did list a cheap one over here, but otherwise they're still at like $2,900. So, and there's only two of them at $2,900 and we reached $3,000. So Following Skies is kind of in its own kind of category. Fusion Strike and Lost Origin have slowed down a bit, so you're seeing no sales last couple of days. Barely any sales ever since this whole month, starting I guess around September 1st or August 31st. Only 2 sales, and I'm just seeing the number of boxes before a next price point starts to increase. Like especially over here, like you see 8 boxes is a good amount of supply. This is 12, about 13. Actually, is that 13, 14? Let's say roughly 15 boxes before 1100. So it's just like really. And then you see like this leveling off for a lot of the boxes. And in Lost Origin, you see that leveling off over here. Not a lot of sales ever since August, the same period, kind of September. And one box sold yesterday. But yeah, like you're starting to see it retracted back to 800. These 2 sellers suddenly appeared. And then we have these 850 boxes been here forever and then 900. So this is slowing down. Brilliant Stars has been very apparent. Like not really a lot of sales since August 27th, just barely a little blips, and it's the one that's been decreasing the most. So it's at 520 now. It went from like close to 600 to like 575, 560, 540. So honestly, it'd be a little interesting to get this box at this price point, just because like it's people do like the set to some extent, and it's just like, you know, it's like $100 more than where it was like before this whole thing started, like about 420. So at this price point, if you can get it for like if it drops like 480, it's really not that bad of a deal. You're just preparing for the next kind of rise. Chilling Reign has been kind of apparent with that. It's been kind of leveling off. Ever since around September 1st as well, hasn't been selling as well. And yeah, right now it's been dropping steadily and into 555. Chilling Reign tends to drop pretty obviously and quickly when it does rise, so I think it's pretty apparent. And then you're getting to the boxes that people are buying a little more. So you see Silver Tempest still selling pretty well. There hasn't been a single, like the most number of days in a row that there have been no sales in one day. So 4 sold yesterday. I think people do like it. Like there is a good chase card. Like unlike Brilliant Stars, it doesn't have like the biggest chase card that people want. Like there's that Charizard, but it's not like as fancy of an art as like the other alt arts. And then, but I mean, people still kind of like it. And then Silver Tempest sold 4 yesterday, and it's just really close to 500. Like it could still make a run like past 500. And then Astral Radiance has been selling more consecutively. Actually, it sold like for actually that's 3 month graph. Yeah, it slowed down a bit and it's been selling more consecutive lately. And I think people are just targeted just because of the price point. It's finally you're seeing like prices like the 420s, 440s, so it could really make a jump pretty soon. So don't be surprised. I really think it's just because of the price point right now. It was 3 sold yesterday, and then Battle Styles 7 sold yesterday, 7 sold the day before. I'm looking at the price ladder for this: 270, 275, 287. 295. Like, you actually see around $300 on the from the first page, and you look at supply. All these sellers only have one. Like, that's pretty surprising. Some of these are even big sellers over here. They only have one available. So Battle Style is getting a little more scarce. Vivid Voltage sold 4 yesterday, and let me just look at let me just filter this out a little bit, and let's see. It is like it's not as like it's actually I do see for about 300 at the bottom here. It's a little more supply. I see like 2 here. I see 3 here, 3, 2. Generally, I think Battle Styles has more momentum, bit of voltage, but people obviously like this is just a normal price now. $250 a booster box. Dark Display is still is pretty slow. Honestly, the first 3 boxes, Dark Display, Sword and Shield, and Rebel Class, they're all more gambles because the prices are just a lot more volatile. They do tend to rise during bull runs, but they're just more volatile and not as liquid either. Alright, I'm just gonna go over the aftermath of this whole Scarlet Vibe base sort of thing. So these reached 1K the other day. Like, there's a video a few days ago. If you haven't seen that, like, I'd watch that. But yeah, these reached 1K because there's a big buy. You see 24 sold here. Only 15 left. Like, 24 is a huge amount in the PC TB market. For the other one, you see 20 sold yesterday. About 45 total PC TBs. No surprise that none of them were sold yesterday. And these are selling for, I think, roughly about 300 before all this. Yeah, I see like 250 to 300 around here, and now the price is still about double, a little less than double for this one, and for this box over here, I think it's also selling for about 200 to 300. So yeah, let's just say 250, 250-ish. So it's also still about double to where it was before, just a little less. Also, Shroud Fable had a big buyout the other day, and 43 sold of this. I think it's not as it's actually started to recover back down, so there's actually like 150, 160, 170, and so it's still a little bit above to where it was before. I guess it was probably 125 to 150, and there's only one seller here. They go into 190, so it still has a good amount of gains ever since then. There's probably a little more of this, and probably more people wanting to get rid of them than SV base, because like SV base you'd probably had been around for a while. But yeah, this one also still maintains some of the gains. Just go over some of the other PCTPs. Twilight might rise a little bit, so 3 sold yesterday. It's been around 200. It's at 210 now. It could go. There's this big jump to 250 over here. Surging Sparks sold 6 yesterday, so sold a little more recently. So around 300, and the price rise isn't as large or anything, but it's heading toward more solidly around 310, 320. Paldea and Obsidian Flames. Paldea sold 1 the last 2 days, so people started to buy it again. And maybe because everything else is getting more expensive, but right now it's been pretty stagnant around 700. Obsidian Flames the same way, just selling like 1 every other day ish, something like that. Still around 700. Paradox, this is what the graph looks like. Nothing too crazy, just been selling a few every day, or about 1 every day. This is the other Paradox. It's less popular. It's been selling a few after not selling for a while. Temporal Force is priced around the same. It's selling a little less now. For this Temporal over here, selling not a lot. All this is not as popular right now. And then Stellar Crown over here, not as popular. Like having a long time without any sales. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.